Did you know that charging your phone with a wireless charger is only 70% efficient? It's like trying to fill a glass of water like this. 30% of your power is just wasted. Aboard a sailboat, there are a lot of situations like this. Some are big, some are smaller, but put them all together and they make a huge difference. It's about doing the exact same things using much less power. Aboard Starry Night, we only have 2 solar panels, and yet we have a big freezer running 24/7. We cook only using induction. We have a microwave oven and we use it every day. Dishwasher that we use every single day. Wi-Fi router connected to the internet and connected to Starlink. And this thing is running 24/7. TV that we use for many hours every single day. And if it's a sunny day, we actually have excess power that we put into our water heater and we can all have hot showers. My point is, we are not exactly camping over here. I will show you all the things that you can do to use your power more efficiently. This is Starry Night, a courageous, plucky sailboat who has only one dream: to sail around the world and have lots of adventures. No, not like that. It's around the world, not through it. But not everything was going to plan. Starry Night was abandoned on the heart for 12 full years. But one day, he found us. My name is Paulo, and this is Katerina, and these are our 2 very overactive kids. After a crazy amount of work, Starry Night is once again ready to sail the oceans. So sit back, relax, and join us in this adventure, and we will all find out together where Starry Night will end up next. Before we start talking about efficiency, let's just quickly touch on how to maximize the production of your solar array. You see, the one thing that is your enemy aboard a sailboat is the shadow. Just a little bit of shadow on the panel will cut its production sometimes by 90%. We have a quick connect on our outhaul, so we can just get the boom out of the way whenever we are at anchor. This way we minimize the amount of shadow that we have on the solar. Solar panels are more efficient the cooler they are. So make sure you have a nice gap beneath your solar panels, because if you put them directly on the deck, they will get much hotter and produce much less power. Glass solar panels are much more efficient and much more energy dense, which means you can get a lot more energy for square foot than the flexible solar panels. So if you can get hard solar panels, they will work much better for you for much longer. One of the problems with flexible solar is that the top of the cells is not glass. It's actually a plastic protection. And over time, it gets hazy. The salt water and the dust and cleaning and all of that, it gets hazy because it's plastic. And the solar production of that panel goes way down. Now that we talked about maximizing your solar production, let's talk about how you can use that power the most efficiently possibly way thingy. We've already talked about these before. You should never use these. These are very inefficient. You should connect your devices directly to the cable. But here's another thing that you should never use, and that's these things. Plugging to your inverter to charge your phone means that you are going to get maybe 30% of the power that you are drawing from your batteries, because you're taking 12 or 24 volts, converting it up to mains power, then back to 5 volts to charge a USB, and it's super inefficient. So these are forbidden aboard Starry Night. I brought this one from home just to be able to show you. To charge up all the devices that use USB power, we use these very simple plugs. They have USB-C on the top, USB-A on the bottom, and they even tell you the voltage of your battery. And we have like 20 of those things all over the boat where we can plug different things. One of the things that are a must are fans that actually connect using USB. So you basically just plug this in and you have a fan. It makes good wind and it uses virtually no power. Then in the living room we have this type of fan. It makes a little bit more airflow, but it also uses a little bit more power. Still not a lot of power, because it's going directly to the battery. Starlink is another thing that can use a lot of power, because the way it comes from the factory, unless you buy the Mini, is that it needs to be connected to mains. But you can buy on Amazon a converter that will make the Starlink work directly from your battery. That way it uses much less power. When we were cruising, we had our Starlink connected 24/7. We never disconnected it because the power draw was so low that it didn't really matter. When you have it connected to your inverter, it does matter. It uses a lot of power. Another thing is that Starlink does not need to use the original Starlink router. You can use your own that connects directly to 12 volts as well and does the Wi-Fi for all of the boat. Let's talk inverters. If you want to be efficient, the inverters on your boat should be off by default. You should only have to turn on the inverters if you're going to use a big power item, like induction cooking, the microwave, or a washing machine. The rest of the time, it should be off. You should have absolutely nothing on your boat that requires your inverters to be on all the time, because it's a very inefficient way of using power. Right now, we have a load of 27 watts. 27 watts are being removed from the battery. I'm going to turn on the inverter and we will see what will happen. 53 watts. And there is nothing connected to the inverter. It's doing absolutely no work at all. So you have 40 watts being used just by the inverter staying on. So yeah, this is a big no-no. It doesn't make any sense. One of the biggest battery consumption aboard is refrigeration, because it runs 24/7. And it works the same for fridges or for air conditionings. To be the most efficient you can be, you should look for a fridge or a refrigerating unit that has a compressor that works directly from DC volts. Avoid like the plague a fridge that works off of an inverter, because that would mean that you have to have your inverter on all the time, and that's a big waste. Let's talk about the TV. The TV is currently on, and I am going to get into YouTube and just put something, whatever, the first thing. And now we are going to check the power consumption. As you can see here, our loads are just 48 watts. And remember, we had 27 before. 42 watts. So using the TV, and I have the solar off because I turned it off for this demonstration because I don't want the solar being interfering with how much the battery is being used. So as you can see, using a TV with a speaker, with the internet, all of it together is pulling just about 20 watts. The way we are able to do this, it's because this is a monitor. It's an LG monitor, and these monitors come with an external brick that you connect to mains power. But we don't want to connect anything to an inverter. So what you do is you check in the back of your monitor if the voltage is compatible with your battery system, and then you connect it directly to your battery. Well, not directly, put a fuse in it, but you get my point. To have YouTube and the apps and the TV and all of that, we use a Google Chrome. This thing is powered off of USB, so it uses almost no power at all, and it's a 4K device, which is great, and it has a remote that you can use like a regular TV. For the speakers, we have a speaker attached to the bottom of the TV, and it also works off of USB. These are all cheap things that you can buy easily anywhere in the world, and instead of having a TV using about 150 watts from your battery, you will have something that consumes 25 watts. Here's another very cool tip. If you go down here and you press like and subscribe, you instantly become 20% cooler. Ooh, I feel dirty. I don't like that. I'm not. Another thing that can use a lot of power aboard is the computer, especially if you're editing or doing heavy tasks. And we happen to have a Mac, but it doesn't matter. Any recent computer should be basically the same. They use a USB port to charge, a USB-C. However, a standard USB charger will not be able to charge your computer. You need something different, something with more power. Or you can connect it to the inverter, but we never want to do that. So what you can do is you buy yourself one of these plugs. Ours is down here somewhere. Yeah, so you can buy this off of Amazon. It doesn't need to be this brand. There are a lot of brands out there. And basically what this does is it takes the 24 volts or 12 volts from your battery and it converts it into voltage and power that is recognized by the Apple Mac, and it just charges it up. For a monitor, we use the same TV. It can be pointing this way if you want to use it as a computer, or we can rotate it to the living room if we want to use it as a TV. So we already know this doesn't use almost any power. Lighting. Well, this one is pretty obvious. You should have LED lights, of course. I hope you're not using incandescent lights in 2025. That makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, we use these cheap Amazon lights. The way they work is that they are super thin. They don't go inside this is how thick they are. So you just screw them in. They are super easy to replace and they have pretty good function. If you hold the button, it will get brighter. I don't know if the camera is adjusting for exposure and you can't see, but the light will get dimmer. So you can dim the lights, and when they're off and you long press, it gives you a blue light, which is a good night light. I wish it was red, but they don't have it with the red option. This is also pretty cool. It's very little light, so it doesn't hurt your night vision that much. But yeah, lighting, LED, and that makes you save a lot of power. Here's another good tip to be efficient. Instead of using a Fusion sound system 200 watts that uses a lot of power, why not use a portable speaker? These things are designed to be as efficient as possible because they have to run on their own battery. And the sound is pretty good. You can take it to the beach, and in the case of this model, which is very old but it's still working fine, the connection to charge it, it's 12 volts. So it connects directly to the battery bank. No need for an inverter to charge it. It's pretty good. Yeah, so these are all the tips that I know, and now you know them too. If you know any other tips, please put them down in the comment. It helps everybody. So that's it. See you next time. Cheers!